So, buongiorno again, everybody. We're back to the contributed talk sessions. And the first one is our own Felix Breden, who is going to talk about iReceptor, or rather iReceptor Plus, right? And Jamie wants you to know she did not participate in the voting for this one. Okay, all yours.
Yeah, well, thanks to most of the meeting committee for allowing me to talk about a new project, iReceptor Plus. And it's a new project. It's funded by EU Horizons 2020. It's a collaboration with Canada and the CIHR. And Gur Yari is here, and he's the coordinator for the EU Horizons 2020 part. And really, it's a new project. We're hoping that this will bring resources to help answer many of the challenges that the AIRR Community Data Commons has and that iReceptor has brought up. Really, I just want to bring out some information. We've just started in January, and I just basically want to bring out information about the project and start the conversation as to how the people in the AIRR community can integrate and help the iReceptor Plus, and iReceptor Plus can help the AIRR community. And so as I say, it's mostly just getting it out. You'll see it's a lot of the usual suspects that have been working with iReceptor and been working with the AIRR Data Commons for several years now. And in the talk, I'll start with the ideas that Brian Corey brought up when he mentioned, he explained the iReceptor project during the tool demonstration, get to some challenges, then talk about the general challenges that we've all been working on, and then how iReceptor Plus is organized and try to answer these challenges, and again, start that conversation about how we can move ahead with all these, with the project. So iReceptor Plus, we start with the AIRR Community Data Commons. It's a network of AIRR compliant repositories. For a lot of us, it's I think it's motivated by the fact that these repositories are so big that they really could never work with one central repository. For these data to be useful, you need data on subject demography, on clinical treatment, clinical outcome. Often these data can't really be put into a common repository because of the sensitivity of the data. So with a federated or a set of repositories, you can maintain the data sets at the own institution with under your own IRB rules, your own consent rules, and then these, if we all follow the AIRR community standards, then these repositories can be queried by similar commands, similar queries. And I'm not an immunologist, I'm not a computer biologist, but for me, that seems to be the key, is that, the same query can work on all the different repositories and pull the data together. So that's really the way I view the AIRR Community Data Commons. iReceptor is an implementation of that commons. We have the iReceptor Public Archive. We're integrated with BDJ server. Sorbonne is going to come in. We're working with the people at University of Texas, Synthetic Archive. We're looking for more repositories, and Brian talked about the turnkey system. And he talked about the increases as we add on these new repositories into iReceptor, and soon maybe 5 billion annotated sequences. You can search over sequence data, you can search over metadata, you can federate and download your data, but that's kind of the key. That's one of our first challenges. Right now, iReceptor, you kind of federate these data and then you got to go do something with it. So that's one of the challenges. Can we make that much more seamless and help the user take those data to all these great new analysis tools that the community is developing? So that's one of the challenges, and this is kind of where Brian's discussion of iReceptor and where iReceptor is developed till now, this challenge of how to analyze your data. But we might think, more broadly, all of the challenges that I came up with just to introduce the project here, really, they've all come up over the last few days. We had the first couple days looking at the working groups and the germline genes and yesterday's science, but these challenges have been brought up over the years for the development of the AIRR community. After you federate the data, we have to get the data to the tools or the tools to the data, but somehow you want to do a new analysis with this federated data. We're developing new analysis tools, and a lot of the AI approaches are becoming very popular with these huge data sets. Security, human data need to be protected, even if it's sometimes even if it's already in public databases. And then we want to bring in industrial partners. We want the industry to adopt our AIR standards. I think if we don't make that impact, we don't have that impact, we're not really fulfilling the promise of the AIR community. And working with industrial partners should help our sustainability of our efforts. So a lot of these, one of the challenges. And of course, single cell analysis is becoming more and more important to the community. Systems immunology, trying to integrate other types of immunological data is a huge challenge. Uptake by biopharma, business cases, and then ethics and legal issues about data sharing and moving these data across countries and across different regulatory frameworks and stuff like that. So these are obviously the challenges. They've come up multiple times in the last days and the last several meetings over the years. So hopefully iReceptor Plus can help bring resources and thinking and work packages to these questions. It's a Canada-EU Horizons collaborative project. The formal structure is across 9 countries and 20 participating institutions. GER is the coordinator with the EU. I'm the scientific director, and Brian is the technical director at Fraser University. We have 4 years of funding, got 11 work packages, and we just started in January. So again, we want to work with everybody and integrate with the AIR community as much as we can. And the objective is pretty much what we're talking about: helping understand immunology, helping develop personalized medicine through sharing the AIR-seq data sets and analyzing the AIR-seq data sets. Here's a list of the partners we have in terms of the academic or the research partners. Again, a lot of the usual suspects, but some new partners that are very exciting. Simon Fraser, Bar-Ilan, University of Haifa. Uri Hirschberg is now associated with the University of Haifa. UTSW is Southwest Medical Center with Lindsay and Scott Chrisley. DKFC is Christian Bussey. University of Oslo is Victor Greif. Sorbonne, we have got Anna Carnita and David Klatzman. University of Toronto is Dev Sidhu helping us. And LITAT, Spain, and is, I don't think is represented right now, but INISTech is, and I'm going to explain some of these, but we have Artur Roca is here from INISTech, and it's a research development group in Portugal, and Artur has been here all along, so it's an exciting new partner into this group. I think one of the most exciting parts of the iReceptor Plus is that we formally bring in clinics and hospitals. And again, if, that's one of the goals of all this, is to get this in translation into clinics and hospital, clinic in Israel. Another one that would completely ruin the pronunciation of, associated with Sorbonne in Paris, UTSW, and Oslo. And you're standing up for time? Oh my gosh. Okay. No problem. And then industrial partners, MedGenome, 10X, Meet My Need, Infinidat, and Ascora, and then the legal and ethics. So just going through real quickly, the work packages, we end user experience, scale up and scale out of the AIR Data Commons. We layered security is Artur Roca. These are just the leaders of these work packages from INISTech. Analysis pipelines, poor Scott and Lindsay, they're kind of in charge of how do we take these data and make it now seamless that we can get to these new analysis packages. Gore is leading the advanced algorithms, and Carnita is leading the systems immunology. But as we know, multiple groups are trying to solve this problem. So we obviously want to work with all these groups that are trying to solve this systems immunology problem. And same with single cell integration of data, with Christian Bussey as our work package leader. Innovation management is Tobias Hinz from Ascora in Germany. The dissemination is through Interteam in Israel. Project management is Pur Gur in Bar Ilan. Ethics is Gur and Josh Dumarte in Timelex. And I think that's very exciting because, you know, they'll help us try to think about how, you know, how do we move these data around and still be within the data management rules of the different countries. So finally, just to kind of summarize, we're just starting. We want to work with AIRR Community, of course. iReceptor Plus, we have a website. You can contact these work package leaders. These, as I say, it's the usual suspects, but those names will be in the package of slides in the online. And then you can contact Gore or me or Brian to talk about iReceptor Plus.
Okay. Thank you, Felix.